I love Lou Albano, and I love...
Come on, man. It's Captain Lou Albano, and if you do drugs, you'll go to hell before you die.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, and welcome to another episode of Super Fancom. This week we are doing a Super Fancom retrospective. This week we are brought to you by Jace.com, where you can find candy, cosplay, imported video games, even adult 18-plus items. All for using our promo code, you get 5% off your entire order at checkout. Also by the Green Teahouse, get all-natural healthy teas, go to the website, check out their flavors like Peach Medley, Apple Nut Crisp, Caramel Cider Chai, 12th Night, and Passion Fruit Oolong. Mm-hmm. And you can get free shipping off any order over $60, link found in the description. Also by Humble Bundle, you can get deals on so many games like Alan Walker's American Nightmare, Catgirl Without Salad, Dead by Daylight, Prison Architect, or Wreckfest. And also pre-order games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider and the upcoming Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Over $100 worth of video games, all directed to your inbox, $12 a month, you can cancel anytime. Also by Amazon Prime, you get 30-day free trial, free shipping off so many great items for Amazon Prime. And we are also brought to you by Geek, caters to many forms of geek culture, which comes links for whatever you fancy. We have so many deals from them with 75% off free shipping over anything over $75, clearance items under $20, and deals of the week, which has up to 70% off. Also, a brand new link for a limited time. You can get free shipping on your orders over $35 with items such as an LED fleece blanket, a Snorlax Kigurumi, a Legend of Zelda leather watch, a Thor's hammer tool set that folds out, and you can pre-order the Fallout 76 Pip-Boy 2000 construction kit, which actually looks really cool. Now with that out of the way, I'm Retro Rick, and I've got a pocket full of quarters. Joining me, playing with his joystick, is Deej.
What's up, guys?
I'm punching his buttons. We are joined by squrlax.
How you doing?
And as an extra player, we finally got the other half of It's Like a Podcast or whatever. We welcome Handsom Bane.
What up, though?
Yes, we finally got the other half of It's Like a Podcast after our long Disney Part 1.
And all you have to do is ask.
Yes. And at some point we'll do Disney Part 2 where Deej will rant about Frozen for an hour.
Oh, yeah. I'm holding it in.
Well, you already did let a little bit go for our your favorite thing is crap.
Well, unfortunately, I made a deal with the devil, a.k.a. my friend. The deal was we would go see whenever she comes out of California, she wants to go see a Broadway play, and I'll pick one. She picks one. I want to go see the Puffs. She wants to go see Frozen on Broadway. So we're gonna. So thank God there's a bar. So I'm gonna get really drunk before I see it. So we'll see what happens.
Good man.
Have you ever seen Avenue Q?
No, but I've heard the soundtrack. I've always wanted to see it.
Yeah.
That should be the middle ground. Just do that. It's an amazing play.
I want to see that. I still need to see the Book of Mormon too.
Same. Well, squrlax, since you're a little bit quiet over there, tell us what you do. You have a YouTube channel, but what's it about?
I do some light gameplay, but mostly just review whatever movie I happen to enjoy watching. Mostly horror stuff. I think the last one I did was... I can't remember, actually. I think it was Jason Takes Manhattan, actually. Which I'm in the extreme minority that I actually have that as my favorite Friday the 13th.
Really?
You are definitely wrong, sir. But we will actually have you on. We'll probably have you later on, because during the whole week of month of October into November, we're going to be talking like scary movies and stuff.
Look, man, all I'm saying is rocker 80s chicks is all it takes for me to go, you know what, I like this movie.
Yeah.
Hey, and if that's what you
And
like...
JJ was like, that was it. That's all I needed. Like JJ playing guitar, that was it. That was the end of it. I was like, okay, this is what I want.
Okay, now with that out of the way, while we wait for Jace D Ace, we will be talking about video game movies. Our favorites, our worst. Now we go Deej, squrlax, and then Bane. When I say video game movies, what is the first one you think of?
For me, growing up, the two video game movies I used to really love was Mortal Kombat and Double Dragon. Oh. It was just like, as a kid, I must have binge watched the hell out of Mortal Kombat with the VHS. I still love it to this day. I know it's incredibly stupid and cheesy, but I think that's why I love it. And then I saw the sequel, and that's when I really hated Mortal Kombat.
squrlax, how about you?
I feel so bad because I actually enjoy the second one. So anytime I think about video game movies, I actually think about like Mortal Kombat and Doom for some reason. I don't know. I'm such a cheesy movie guy. Where like bad movies are the movies that I'll like watch over and over again, and it's not that I legitimately laugh at them. It's just fun to watch, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think that can be said about a lot of the video game movies. Is we know that there's some flaws, but we enjoy them for whatever reason.
Exactly.
Absolutely, my first video game live action movie that I was like excited to actually fork over money to see was Street Fighter. It was, and I kind of like broke as a person after seeing Street Fighter. But, you go back and it's like, once we got a little more context about what was going on at the time, and Raul Julia actually like leaning all the way into the role and actually doing it as like the dying wish for his children, it was kind of like, all right, this is actually a classic. So, Street Fighter, absolute best.
All right. Basically, let's start with, in the beginning, let's start with Super Mario Brothers.
Does anyone here remember Nintendo Power?
Yes, I still have like 200 issues of it. I remember it being like, hey, this is a thing that's coming out.
That's how I first heard about that's when I remember first reading about the Super Mario Brothers movie, and then we went to find for some reason as a kid. I think it's because of Bob Hoskins, because I really liked Roger Rabbit.
That was the only reason.
But I was so confused. I was like, their last names can't be Mario. That's so stupid.
What's your name? Mario. What's your last name? Mario. No, what's your last name? Mario.
Also, they're not really brothers, so that movie's a lie.
Yeah, that also bothered me because I was watching John Leguizamo in House of Buggin' around that time.
Oh my God.
So
I remember that.
was completely thrown. I'm like, wait, he's who? So yeah.
God, I haven't thought of that show in years.
Oh, I thought it was awful. It was because it was like right after In Living Color went away, so they kind of like, that was like the blueprint for Mind of Mencia. And so it both had the same fall off from Chappelle's show to Mind of Mencia.
I think right after Mario Brothers, Leguizamo did The Pest.
Yeah.
And I unironically love that movie. But the Mario Brothers is the only movie when Bob Hoskins was alive. He said this is the only movie he regret making. Not Son of the Mouse.
Yeah, wasn't it
but
like
that.
everybody was on set? Was just,
Oh my God! If you ever get the chance to read up on the history behind the scenes, because it is a shit show. Like they're for each thing they had to do.
That's the documentary I want to see.
Well, it's funny. This
that
jumped in out of nowhere. You guys can hear me, right? So I follow a Facebook page that's dedicated to the Mario Brothers movie, and all the research that they do, right down to the fact that they've been working on stuff that are kind of like what should be on there on a Blu-ray, like special feature type things. Interviews with the actors who are still alive, like Princess Daisy, stuff like that. And the interesting thing is that the movie went through something like 7 script revisions, including one that was kind of like a DreamWorks-esque cartoon. So, I mean, like, the movie could have been any number of different things, and somehow we wound up with Blade Runner.
Yeah, pretty much.
We almost got Tom Hanks as Super Mario.
That would have been interesting.
He was one of the people they went up to, and then they got cold feet, and they said, no, we don't want him. Yeah. He almost accepted it.
I mean, Tom Hanks as Mario reminds me of, like, how Tim Burton wanted Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Although, granted, that would probably be a better Superman than any of the freaking Superman-related things that have come out within like the past few years.
Well, Nicholas, he did get to be Superman finally. He did finally get to be Superman in the Teen Titans Go movie.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right, this movie.
I would just like to get Tom Hanks in that role and just let him lean into the Italian accent and just see what kind of gold we've gotten.
Very true.
Yeah.
This movie's budget was $48 million. It made only $20.9 million. And moving on from that, we got Double Dragon, a movie I never know. The only Double Dragon.
Yep.
I only remember the cartoon.
movie.
I remember the cartoon.
The cartoon's theme song has been in my head all day.
Dragon.
It's funny because as soon as we started talking, the theme song for Double Dragon has been stuck in my head all day, and that's like the best thing of it.
I kept waiting for them to get the suits, and they didn't get it till the very end. And there's a point where my favorite is there was a point where they actually have the actual Double Dragon arcade game in there, and Jimmy destroys it. That's a symbolism right there.
The movie itself kind of felt like a cheap knockoff of the Ninja Turtles movie to a degree, because like the villains in that movie were very similar to the Foot Clan in the first Turtles movie, and the only thing that really resembled Double Dragon, aside from Billy and Jimmy Lee looking the way they did at the very end, and Abobo was in the movie as well. Like, he was the only other really Double Dragon thing about the movie.
I think this is actually the only video game live action movie that I hate. Like that, I'll get angry if you try to turn it on. That's the only.
Out of all the video game movies, this is the one that gets you angry.
Yeah, because this is also kind of the one that broke me. So there was no more surprises for me after this. So everything else, like Blood Rain, Far Cry, anything that we can talk about later on, I'm already dead inside because of Double Dragon.
Yeah, I never saw this movie. I only watched the cartoon series. I played the fighting game based off the cartoon series, which was very fun. But this movie, it had a $7.8 million budget, only made back 2.3. And
that's a miracle.
Yeah, I'm surprised it made $1 million. But next we move on to one of my favorites, Street Fighter. The movie where Jean-Claude Van Damme was so coked out of his mind, even though he had total say in what was happening, has no memory of this movie ever being made.
That's hilarious. Has anybody watched JCVD?
Yes.
On Amazon?
Yeah.
I've seen an episode or two, yeah.
Watch them all twice. It's an incredible show.
I've got too much to freaking watch as it is, like between Amazon Prime and then Netflix, and I just recently canceled Hulu because at this point it's like, oh, fuck my life.
We're crowdsourcing all of our little networks, so
yeah,
we're bringing it to we're doing potluck on all of ours. So I
mean, I kind of do that with my friends too, but
none of those things is going to give you Felicia Rashad swearing like a sailor, though. So JCVD is your only place you're going to get that, probably.
It's kind of sad though that much like Orson Welles in Transformers, that this would turn out to be, I believe, Raul Julia's last movie.
Yeah,
and
was finest hour. And his finest hour.
Yes, it was.
I think it felt like he was the only one who got what was going on with it, and it was just like, oh, they're making a crap movie. Let me just go ahead and stream out most of my lines. Also, I did chemo today, so I did that.
I think it's funny that Street Fighter probably has the most adaptations of any video game ever, just because you have Street Fighter, and then I assume we're going to talk about it later, the Chun-Li Street Fighter movie.
Yeah.
Ooh,
plus there was the American Street Fighter cartoon.
Yep.
And then the various movies and OVAs of Street Fighter as well. So I mean, that's what 5 different adaptations of the same source material. I mean, it's about as convoluted as
was Tekken trying to compete with them? Because I swear they have as many spin-offs and movies as them.
We can get to Tekken. Did they actually make the Tekken movie? Did they actually?
Nobody cares.
In Japan, yes.
Yeah, there was supposed to be an American one too, and I think it fell through.
No, there were. There was one. I think there was one that was made. It was American version. I actually did enjoy it, but we'll get to that when we do. And then there was supposed to be a sequel.
Huh.
But let's not forget Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Ooh, buddy.
Why?
It's just a fun little cash grab thrown in there. I mean, you can only rename Street Fighter 2 so many times before you have to do something different. So it's okay, we're not ready for Street Fighter 3 yet. Hey guys,
hold my beer.
Movie games do well, right? Movie games do well.
It makes Power Rangers look tame. Super Mega Force, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Evolution.
Listen, Capcom would like a word about whether or not you can rename the game so many times. Hold my beer. And they proceeded to call it everything. But I mean, where I give Street Fighter the benefit of the doubt is that there are at least 12 characters, except they added the super characters. And to try to flush out a background for all of that while all that was going on, and using the Surf Ninjas uniforms for the military, it did everything. Check them out.
I love how, just on a side note, I love how 90s / early 2000s media reused so many of the freaking costume and prop assets across everything. I mean, how many times did they use the space military uniform from Starship Troopers?
The only other time I can remember is actually Power Rangers Lost Galaxy.
That was one of them, but I believe they also reused them in Battlefield Earth as well.
Street Fighter was made for $35 million. It actually made a good profit. It made $99.4 million.
Really?
Yes.
Good publicity, good special effects, for the time.
Oh, yeah.
That Hadouken was special. That close quarters Hadouken was really special.
I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get to hear him scream, "I'd like some pancake!"
And now, actually, hey, squrlax, what do you haven't really said anything. What are your thoughts on, Mario, Double Dragon, Street Fighter? You have any Venom to spew?
He's speechless.
Yeah.
They're just that terrible.
Look, man, I love bad movies. So, like, I can bash, like, Mario all I want, but at the end of the day, I'm still the guy who goes, yeah, I'll watch that 60 more times today. That's fine. I mean, it's so bad that, like, even my nephew would rather watch the Super Mario Bros. Movie and the Super Mario TV show
Oh, my daughter.
than, like, actually play the game.
Show was great, though.
Don't diss the TV show. Listen, I admit it has faults, but I love it.
I mean, I love Lou Albano, and I love.
Come on, man! It's Captain Lou Albano, and if you do drugs, you'll go to hell before you die.
I love that show for Lou Albano himself, and how he played him, and all the random freaking celebrities that came on because of Albano, like Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
And I think
Roddy Piper. That was
Roddy
my favorite.
Piper.
That was my favorite guest they ever had on the entire show.
I mean, like,
much
neither of those made any sense, and that's
How
what made it so
much
beautiful.
cocaine was on the set when Piper showed up?
Oh, I'm sure.
Give or take. What's the over-under on that?
Slightly less cocaine than what was on the set of the movie.
Yeah.
But we will move on to one of my favorites, Mortal Kombat. I saw, now just my background, I love Mortal Kombat. I've always have. I wasn't allowed to play it when I was younger. Then maybe 3 weeks before the movie came out, I watched the making of Mortal Kombat, and I fell in love with this because I really wasn't I didn't really know much about movies. And then I saw the making of it, this is pretty awesome. My dad is also watching it from his place. Then we go to see this movie. I'm loving it. And this is the first time I actually, in the theater, heard people cheering after the movie was over.
Wow. I don't know if it was that good, but okay.
Well, compared to all the other video game movies of the time, it was phenomenal.
Well, they
actually holds up, too.
You as Raiden.
And
Come on.
this movie should it did not work. It's a PG-13 Mortal Kombat.
I mean, you also can't lie that when you watch it, the soundtrack just pumps you up, too.
Well, in Mortal Kombat's defense, they gave us exactly what the video game gives us. It's a torment fighter, and they gave us our characters. And I thought
they got the characters. They got the characters' personalities. They got the look of the characters right. They got the moves. You know, the stunt work and choreography was all top notch.
Oh God.
And you know what they put all of that on top of was the script for Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
It is Enter the Dragon with fire, pretty much. Like, Bolo is Goro. Han is Shao Kahn. Not Shao Kahn.
Well, Goro wasn't until the second movie, right?
No.
Goro appeared in the first. He was in the first one.
Yeah.
He fought Johnny Cage, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Goro, and then who did Bolo fight? He fought Roper. Yep. And Roper was Johnny Cage. So it's like, if you watch them right next to each other, it's almost shot for shot.
Johnny Cage, honestly, was my favorite character in that movie.
He was, too. He for me also.
Yeah.
And I got pissed off immediately when they killed him in the sequel.
Oh, yeah.
You know, right at the start of the movie.
I gotta laugh, though. They did the whole Liu Kang Sub-Zero fight perfectly.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I mean, they had the Mortal Kombat cartoon, too, which was very similar to the Street Fighter cartoon, but I liked the animation style more. Because the Street Fighter cartoon tried to kind of take Capcom's characters and turn them into G.I. Joe characters.
Yeah.
The Mortal Kombat cartoon, Defenders of the was really freaking good and did get a lot of the plot points right, despite being a cash grab geared towards kids in syndication.
I thought it actually was better written, too.
Oh, yeah.
It was written a little bit better. There was actually, some stakes involved as opposed to, just Street Fighter, we're in this tournament.
I feel like there's a lot of No, I feel like there's a lot of cartoons from like the late 80s, early 90s that are kind of underrated today.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, the Street Fighter cartoon had nothing to do with a tournament to begin with. And Guile's just a total freaking washed up dick. With like severe PTSD.
I liked him way better in Street Fighter V, where he fights, Ken and Ryu are just going around trying to find a good fight, and they end up in a bar, and Guile has the line. Have you seen it? Where Guile has the line where he's about to fight Ryu, and here's the thing, like Ken and Ryu are like, they're teenagers, they're babies, they're like going out into the world just trying to, get their nuts under them, and they end up running into the manliest man on earth, Guile, who, he's fighting Ryu. This is our Ryu now. He's fighting him in the bar, and he's kicking the shit out of him, and Ryu is dog tired, and he says, "That's the problem with you young punks. You run out of steam before you get started. A guy like me, I can kick your ass all night." And it was like, damn, Guile. He was like, it was like he just stopped to eat his steak and then beat his ass.
By comparison, the cartoons, Ryu and Ken were like a comic relief duo who were incredibly like self-centered, and like the first episode, they're like searching for treasure and riches.
As they were in the movie too, though. They were kind of like in the movie.
And Ken, I believe, was voiced by Scott McNeil.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All I know is that Guile had steak-flavored Gatorade. He was a man's man. Jesus.
So I mean, by like head and shoulders above all the other video game movies at the time, Mortal Kombat, it's really kind of set the bar kind of high, surprisingly. Like, and you can't really set a bar high for video game movies, considering that was 2 before it?
Yeah.
3?
3, yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So 4th video game movie comes out, and Mortal Kombat has great effects, good story, great actors, and nails the aesthetic of the game.
Yep.
So, in my opinion, it's kind of downhill from here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was made for $18 million. It made $122 million.
Damn.
Yeah, I believe it.
Now
The controversy behind the game certainly helped sell the movie too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So wait, were you guys Street Fighter guys or Mortal Kombat guys game wise?
I was a Mortal Kombat guy mainly. I played both. I would play the Street Fighter game in the arcade when I got the chance, but my dad actually got me Mortal Kombat for the consoles. So I would my parents were weird. I was not allowed to play Grand Theft Auto or certain R-rated games or whatever, but yet Mortal Kombat was perfectly fine. Figure that one out.
Now,
the way I see it, Mortal Kombat is fantasy violence. Because nobody's going to take their hand, dig it in through your back, and rip out your spine. Like, nobody can do that in real life. And if they can, I would love to learn that technique from them. But, so I mean, like, in my opinion, just, if you ever have kids, you just teach them the difference between fantasy violence and real violence. And video games just have pushed realism with the whole high-def thing way too far, to the point where, like, when I let a kid play, or say, like, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, whatever, play Mortal Kombat, if I taught them, this is real and you can't do this, like, give them a little bit of common sense. And, that's the thing. Like, my cousin played
I think that was like the appeal
when I was with him, and he was younger than me.
That was kind of the appeal for Mortal Kombat, though, is that, like the captures were, quote unquote, so real for, like, it was the cutting edge at the time.
Unless you played it on
like
Nintendo where it gave you silver blood.
Oh yeah, and they smartened up.
And it was but that's because Sega kicked their ass in sales.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Then after Mortal Kombat, just aside, Robin Shou, who plays Liu Kang, the year after in '96, I was on a date with someone. We went to go see Beverly Hills Ninja with Chris Farley, and the guy who plays Chris Farley's brother is Robin Shou.
That's hilarious.
But then we get Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And the only good thing I'll say about that is it has the better soundtrack.
I actually don't remember that soundtrack at all.
It's got Killmeister, it's got a really awesome soundtrack. I don't really touch it for that. Soundtrack. It's got.
I'll just say Princess Katana looked great.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah, you got Rammstein, KMFDM, Megadeth, Scooter, Mainbreak, Juno Reactor.
That is a hell of a great sound.
Wait, is this the movie that includes the line, and it is glorious?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's,
yes,
oh my God, I would reference it all the time. I kept thinking, what movie was that from?
Yeah, because it's when Shao Kahn and Quan Chi are talking.
Yeah.
I remember now.
You can tell that guy was studying Raul Julia.
Oh, God, yes.
He was studying Raul Julia for getting, like, he was in
How
his
do I
muse
play a
cage.
video game movie film?
And they,
Go to the message.
I mean, it's not exactly like you could take Dennis Hopper's, performance very well.
Ugh.
they recast almost everyone. I mean, Robin Shue is Liu Kang again, Lisa Soto is Katana. Then you got some dude named Chris Conrad as Johnny Cage.
Was there a reason why they replaced many of the cast members?
I think
some didn't want to return, most likely, and then others, it might be just prior commitments, sad contract deals, stuff like that.
They were really, really smart.
You want to play Johnny Cage for 5 minutes and die? Come on, man. We'll give you, like, no money at all.
hey,
Well, I don't know. I feel like that might have also been a rewrite. I don't know, just kind of like theorizing that.
That must have been a rewrite.
Like, oh, we're not going
just
to get the real Johnny? Okay, let's go ahead and kill him then.
I think that was definitely what they had to do for that.
Let's put some
you know what?
weight
I would believe it.
Script.
New character incoming.
yeah.
A challenger appeared.
Hi.
And playing with himself, we got Billy Carter.
Oh, okay. So I made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
now
thought I was late.
it's fine.
Yeah, no, we're only up to Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
We're
Yeah.
in what? In what year is this? 95, 96?
96.
97 now.
Yeah, there was a big drought between this one and the next video game out. I think.
Wow, they did that movie up like that in 97? That was a great year for media. How did they get that so wrong?
That was a great year for a lot of things, like wrestling.
Yeah.
That was such a great year.
Yeah,
for media.
wrestling was yeah. That was a good year.
Yeah,
Hey,
it was a
That was
very
a
good
great year.
game.
Being a nerd.
but now that we have
It was-
now that we have Jace, Billy, and Deej, we can talk. We can go to our real show. We just basically talking about Power Rangers. Oh wait a minute, never mind.
Aww.
I got literally excited.
Well, I mean,
How
we can
dare
always
you?
talk about that movie in another one, you know?
Yeah, Power Rangers will be a whole other show.
Yes.
But Mortal Kombat Annihilation made for 30,000. It actually made 51 million. Made some profit.
That's residual.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that it's mostly just based off the infamy. If it wasn't for the video game violence court cases where Mortal Kombat was constantly brought up, it was Mortal Kombat, I think Doom and Night Trap were like the three big ones. And I think maybe Lethal Enforcers, because Konami's Lethal Enforcer guns look like revolvers.
You know what? Night Trap. You look at that game now; it is so tame.
Oh God,
That is
yeah.
the only word about Night Trap.
No, I mean it's $15 on Switch right
But moving on.
But
I always want to play that game just because like I love cheesy horror movies, and that's exactly what this was. It was supposed to be a parody of vampires or something.
And it takes up precisely about 5% of your screen. So.
That always made me laugh. Is like they're saying, "Well, in this game, these women are getting killed." It's like, yeah, but the point of the game is to save them, right?
yeah.
From 97 to 99 with Wing Commander.
I I never saw it, but I was told the original game actually had Mark Hamill and Biff from Back to the Future.
And so does this one. It's got Mark Hamill, Freddie Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard, and it has
my buddy.
And it has a great flub in the movie where it's on screen for about 30 seconds. It says breach, BREEEECH. It said perimeter breach for 30 seconds, flashing, and no one got it.
Wait, Matthew Shaggy from Scooby-Doo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Well, he did this after Anarchist. Or Anarchist Cookbook.
Yeah.
Oh, that just makes you laugh. That just makes you love it even more.
Yeah, this one was made for $30 million. It only made 11.6.
Kind of obscure-ish game to make a movie out of. Being like, you got big-name actors in the game, and it was kind of a big deal with the whole full-motion video cutscene.
Malcolm McDowell is in this game.
Because he's in everything.
Yeah. You know, I mean, like,
it doesn't take much to get out.
I question his credit. He was in Tank Girl.
Tank Girl's amazing.
Yes.
It is quite good.
You never silly Tank Girl. But then from 1999, we get, in 2001, Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
I actually like that.
I have
It was okay.
It had a sequel. They just
it did.
And
it made money.
Yeah,
and a ride.
Mostly, basically, you know, Angelina Jolie and the name Tomb Raider. I mean, I feel like while she could play the role and she was a big name, there were already like several people who had officially been Lara Croft before her for magazine photo shoots and advertising.
They were they weren't actresses though. They were just models.
But they really looked. I think one of them technically was an actress who took it as a modeling job. But like, they all looked more like Lara Croft in the game than Jolie did.
Yeah, but I don't know if they would, you know, have the same.
Feel like
the drawing power. Her.
Yeah, they don't put as many butts in the seats.
At the same time, like the art direction of the movie was very drab and generic. It's like you basically, if her name wasn't Lara Croft, you could just mistake it for any kind of action movie involving like going after relics, you know.
Indiana Jones's daughter.
Pretty much, like
Diana Jones.
I mean, like she didn't have that teal top. She didn't have the tan shorts. Like she was missing. She didn't have the sunglasses. She was missing everything that made Lara Croft Lara Croft.
Yeah. This movie made for $115 million. It actually made $274 million.
They would have made more than that if they gave us a little more John Voight.
Well, that was when Laura and her dad were. That was when Jolie and her dad were not speaking to each other, so that's why.
They kind of are.
They didn't need a bunch of scenes together. And Bud Kilmer in the movie and been fine.
Kilmer? Is that what you said?
Bud Kilmer from it was the character he played in Varsity Blues.
Oh, great. I don't want.
Thank God. For a second, I thought you said Val Kilmer.
You gonna go out there?
Oh, no.
You gonna get me them ripped?
I don't want your life.
I don't want your life.
Right, then after this, we get the first of the series, Resident Evil.
It was like watching a giant train wreck right there.
I like this one. 2.7.
The first one is probably the most enjoyable one because it's again all downhill from there.
I thought the second one was the better one because that one actually felt like the video game to me. It's actually in Raccoon City, the one in the streets. We got Nemesis, and then I was actually excited for the third one because I thought, maybe it's gonna get better, and then. The movies like almost like forget their own continuity, I feel like, because it's like, we had these characters. Wait, what's going on? Wait, what happened? Why are they separated? Wait, what the hell? What happened to Chris Redfield in the other movies? And they just don't answer it whatsoever.
It's kind of funny because the games kind of followed that trend eventually too, because like they stopped being less survival horror and more like, here's a bunch of zombies, kill them, explosions. Like Oh, and maybe some references to the characters before that.
But this is
And here we have Mike Epps. It was like, wait a minute, what? I just got Day from Friday. Why is he here?
But come on, Mike Epps with golden pistols is, that's you would expect that from Mike
This is
Epps.
custom, baby. It's like,
I do have to say though, out of all of them, my two favorite are Apocalypse and Afterlife. Afterlife just because it looks really good, not because it's a good movie, but because it looks really good. And Apocalypse because it is very video game and has so many Easter eggs in it.
Yeah, but this movie, it was like the start of my being a film nerd, because the first time I saw this, I bought this on DVD. I immediately watched it with the director's commentary, which had Mila Jovovich and Michelle Rodriguez, and it was fantastic.
Mila Jovovich is a nerd.
She is.
She really is. She really is a nerd. She's giggling and laughing at everything.
This movie was made for $33 million. It made $103 million.
that's surprisingly cheap.
That's
33 mil.
profit.
I mean, to be fair, horror movies are pretty cheap to make.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not staying that true to source material.
Yeah,
you got it for the hell you
they
want.
still had a lot. They had a lot of
The dog.
They had laser grid, and
I mean, I thought it was cool. It was more of like a prequel kind of thing. Like here's
well, that's what I saw it as. Yeah,
get you started, but I don't know. By the end, it was just
They
like
kind of made that excuse later on. They're like, "Yeah, this was a prequel to the video game." It's like, no, it wasn't.
I swear we didn't just make this up.
Yeah.
Then the year after, we get the second Tomb Raider Cradle, which I've never seen yet, even though I do own the DVD.
I mean,
you're
it's
not missing anything.
I know.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
Yep.
Made for $95 million. Actually did a good job getting in $156 million.
that's because you got Angie.
That's just domestic.
That's just Angie. Because she was,
I mean,
she was
you
at the peak right
anything
there
else?
too.
Yep.
This was just for Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was on fire at that time. So
She was
yeah,
still
were a
with Billy
shitty
Bob at
movie.
this point.
Yes.
Anybody see Original Sin?
I have not.
It's
It's boobs.
Angelina Jolie.
Ah.
But then she also did in
all
Geo
fairness,
too.
she does some decent acting chops in that film.
Oh yeah. But then moving on, our first movie from the man himself, Dr. Uwabole.
Yes.
We get to that.
God.
The patron
Yes,
saint.
we get 203,
horrible movie.
House of the Dead. A movie which, as much as I try to remember it, all I can think of is every scene from the movie from Broken Lizard, Club Dread.
I mean,
I could see it. I could totally see it.
I remember watching the movie and going, this is House of the Dead. Where's the house?
You took all
Where's
the
the
words
dead?
out of my mouth.
And
All the words
this
out
is
of
what
my
I had to say with the movie. I said this movie needed more Biff naked.
Yes.
House of the Dead, or basically
Beach of
what
the
the
Dead.
theater was like throughout the whole thing. Just
Okay,
dead.
guys. So we're gonna do House of the Dead, right? Well, let's move it to an island, and there's a party. Okay. So that's where we're going. And then there's gonna be like a small house, but we're not gonna go there until like the last 10 minutes of the movie. So we're good.
Let's spoil it by showing the last survivor saying, I'm the last to survive. I was like, God damn it.
I can't believe all this happened.
it just
Now
felt-
let's
it
see
felt
what
like-
it was.
It felt like they didn't have permission to shoot anywhere, so they just shot wherever they could. And so it was like, that wouldn't surprise me because I've done that where I didn't have permission to shoot anywhere. So I just got it in where I could. So it felt a lot like that just watching this, because it was like there should be a house for the dead, right?
Yeah.
But
It actually makes you think, too, like, if other bad filmmakers were allowed to touch that franchise, would they have done a better job? I think
Ed
so.
Wood
Like,
would've.
if Ed Wood would have,
I'm
hell,
gonna vote
Tommy
Tommy
Wiseau
Wiseau.
would.
George Romero was actually supposed to make the very first Resident Evil movie. So I think I would love to see him doing a House of Dead movie.
Now, surprisingly, the script on that was kind of interesting, though. It was very, like, close to the video games, but it was still really weird, though.
Because it was getting intercut with, like, scenes from the game, and when anyone died, it was, like, the camera would tilt up and show the game over screen for them.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right.
Well, like, he didn't play the games himself. The rumor was he had his assistant or something play the games, and that's what I heard. That's what I read. He didn't play the game, but I remember there's a Japanese commercial for Resident Evil 2, and I think George Romero directed it, and it has like English American looking actors. I'm like, and that trailer alone was like the most Resident Evil I ever saw in any movie.
But House of the Dead has one of the greatest worst lines ever. There's a scene where the woman is talking to the evil dude, and she asks him, "Why do you want to be immortal? To live forever."
I mean, I guess that's the most honest answer you can have.
True.
I mean, he's not
the most
wrong.
direct answer I can think of.
To get to the other side.
Why are you killing my friends? I don't know. You're just here, I guess.
It makes me think of it. Why is it so mean?
All right, this movie was made for $12,000. It made $13.8 million.
Wow.
I don't even remember it being in theaters.
All right, what movie are we on now still?
We're still on House of the Dead, but we're moving on to Resident Evil 2 Apocalypse.
This was more Resident Evil-y. Point out something. Kid zombies are annoying. Don't ever put kid zombies in a movie, because they never get shot. Because you can't shoot a kid on camera. So don't put a child zombie in a movie unless you're going to shoot it.
Damn, I'm trying to think of a movie where they actually did kill kids besides Clown.
What about Dawn of the Dead? Did they shoot a baby zombie?
Oh yeah, they did, but you didn't see it. You just heard the gunshot.
Yeah, it's off screen.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, I want to see the bullet go right through the head.
I want to see the baby explode. Come on, man.
Exactly. I did. I wanted them to blow the thing up. It would have been amazing.
Give me a time machine. Give me a time machine, and I will make one of those movies. Like, say, back in the 60s,
because in the 60s
when people were doing these things for shock. Yeah, and just kind of do it with, like, the zombie baby, but do it in the style of, like, the head from Scanners.
Apocalypse really it was actually the funner version. It had a nemesis. We get introduced to Jill.
The liquors, too.
We were huge Jill marks.
So much better than the first one. And
she looked like Jill.
That's
what I'm saying. That's why I thought this was the best one.
And plus,
it was actually great when she came back for what was it? Afterlife, I think.
I think so. Yeah. And this also had the awesome running up the building scene.
Yeah. Wasn't it running down the building?
Yeah, running down. Yeah.
Oh, and then there's running the little gag they did for Code Veronica, where she's running through the glass hallway with the chopper shooting at her. That was shot great.
Made on a budget of $5 million, made $129 million. Then we move on to
see that.
This movie is dark, as in you can't really see what's going on.
They ripped off Evil Dead.
They really did.
Yeah.
And they had a great cast. They had Christian Slater, Stephen Dorff, the mainstay of Sharknado, Tara Reid.
Yeah.
And at the helm, Uwe Boll.
Yep, another Uwe Boll movie.
The amazing thing is, and here's the fun fact, because like I know we mentioned like the budget for the last one, House of the Dead, was something like only like 12,000?
12 mil.
12 mil. Okay. The reason why his films have such low budgets is that he gets a massive kickback.
Oh yeah, from the government.
Yeah. In what is it? Endowment for the Arts in Germany.
Yeah.
Although I think recently they cut the funding.
They did.
Going to those things.
And he
I mean, basically, they had to be shitty so that if they made too much money, he would end up having to pay more in taxes. So it really like benefits him to like not make that much money on it in theaters, if that makes any sense.
Basically, a producer's like situation where he makes more money off of it being a flop.
Yeah.
So the producer's game.
Yeah.
Every Asylum movie ever made.
Except Sharknado.
Yeah.
That's because they get enough like outside like advertising to actually make the movies in the first place.
Sci-Fi gives them money to make those
my God, Sharknado 2 had so much product placement. There was like Verizon Wireless and Virgin Mobile signs everywhere in the damn movie. I was distracted by that half the movie. I was like, why the hell are these signs so huge?
I still love the fact that House of the Dead, the whole like beach party thing, didn't they have a banner that said Sega on it or something too?
Oh yeah, they did.
Wow, yeah.
Sega was hosting that party.
Sega must have been pissed.
Something else to have for bad press for Sega.
Yeah, Alone in the Dark made on a budget
Sega
of
was
20.
going downhill at that point. Anyway.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Made on a budget of $20 million. It made $10.4 million. And then we moved to October of 2005, where we get
Semper Fi,
but it's
a rock.
Here's the funny thing, movie. I actually went to the theater with my mom to see that.
Oh no!
She goes, "What do you want to see? Let's go see Doom, Mom." She goes, "All right." She sits there. Why did you suggest this?
Why have you?
I just realized we missed one.
We did. We missed
kind of, sort of, a video game movie, but Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Final Fantasy, Spirits Within. That's right.
Oh, now that movie broke me. You're talking about Double Dragon King. That movie broke me. I'm like, this is not Final Fantasy.
I saw that in theaters, and it's interesting because, like, that was the first movie that when I was watching on DVD, I watched with commentary. There were, like, 3 or 4 different sets of commentary. And the fascinating, like, while I was disappointed that there was no Uematsu music at all, what was interesting is that Sakaguchi did direct a good chunk of the movie. And worked on a good chunk of the story for it. So, I mean, there was a Final Fantasy element to it. But the Japanese directors who handled, apparently, development of the first portion of the movie literally were talking about the movie as they were designing a game. Like, they referred to certain parts of the movie as bosses. So, I mean, like, this goes to show you the divide in mindset between the multiple teams that worked on this movie at the same time. People at the time wanted a Final Fantasy VII movie or something like that. Now, I knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew that they couldn't, because video games work differently than movies, especially role-playing games. So, I mean, like, if you do a role-playing game and you turn it into a movie, I can tell you right now, the only way you're going to adapt that motherfucker is if you Harry Potter the motherfucking shit out of it and take that game and turn it into, like, fucking 8 movies. People think about, like, say, Super Mario Brothers being a hell of a clusterfuck, and then you literally hear them going, we don't remember how we even did the beginning of the movie, but then also had very little involvement on how the end of the movie was made, because we were the ones who started making the movie, but then we found that we made that new company in Hawaii, and they did the rest of the movie. And so, yeah, we don't know what happened. We don't know how we made the beginning, and we don't know how the ending happened because other people did it.
We're passing the story stick is what happened. So,
yeah.
When I first saw the movie, I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it on VHS.
That's how I saw most of these video game movies was on VHS.
That was the first DVD I owned, actually. I didn't have a DVD player until I had a PlayStation 2.
First DVD I ever owned was Spider-Man. So,
Well, getting back to Doom.
Yeah.
oh god, Doom.
How much did Final Fantasy make?
Let me look at that real quick. I
mean, I'm not dying to know.
Recouped its. I'm not sure if it recouped its budget because I mean, like they threw a lot of money. I remember the making of featurette involved like a tour of their studio that they built in Hawaii, and like basically you had this like massive server room of these huge ass computers that they were used to do the graphics for it. Basically, the kind of setup that people use right now for Bitcoin mining was what they used to make a movie.
Exactly.
Jeez. Yeah.
They're probably 100 times more powerful now than we're.
Oh,
Can you
God.
imagine watching all that and then putting it on VHS?
Wow.
All that.
Well, I
You
mean,
can't
by comparison, Star Wars Episode 1 was the first and I think only movie to play in the experiment format where it was not on reel-to-reel film.
The budget for
It was literally some
Doom
sort
was,
it was a digital VHS.
Yeah.
137. It made 85 million.
Yowza.
And that is why Square Pictures doesn't exist anymore.
Ouch!
They basically made to cut losses. They did that set for the Animatrix and the residuals.
Which one?
The residuals from that paid off their debt from Final Fantasy pretty much, and then they just closed the studio and called it even.
Prophecy from the first Final Fantasy game actually played out on going the opposite way.
With the movie, yeah. more or
Yeah.
less. So, on the other hand, I just think it's hilarious that Dwayne Johnson's ego makes him say that was the best video game movie ever made, and Rampage, and then Rampage was the best one since then. I just think it's hilarious that Dwayne Johnson's ego makes him say that was the best video game movie ever made, and Rampage, and then Rampage was the best one since then.
God damn you, Rock Dwayne.
Was it, Ray was coming out, he was like, oh, you know, this movie's going to be the best. Not like that piece of shit. I'm back in 2000, blah, blah, blah.
No, it's funny. He said that, but then he also said that Doom was the greatest video game movie ever made until Rampage.
Mm.
You know,
And then he went
Rampage
and wrote a
came
script
out.
for Ballers. So.
Damn you, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh, he probably thinks Skyscraper's better than Die Hard.
Oh, it's just funny, basically, because every role that Dwayne Johnson played within that short window of time, I swear is just the same character in a different situation. Because he's literally wearing the same outfit in Skyscraper, Rampage, and Jumanji. It's like, does this man never change clothes? Is he a cartoon character?
I'm sorry, but have you ever seen
I would believe it.
Stone Cold Stunner?
Look, I'm sorry, but Dwayne needs to...
Have you ever seen him sell a Stone Cold Stunner? That's the same way he's selling us on video game movies.
Good point.
True.
Dwayne has become the new Nicolas Cage, just taking anything that's handed to him.
True.
Good. That's right.
And then after Doom, we get a movie I've never seen. I own the actual special edition with all the 6 things.
Did Doom recoup its budget?
Doom budget 60 million, box office 56 million.
Yeah.
Oh, so close.
That was before Dwayne was that household name.
Yeah.
When they still had Dwayne The Rock Johnson as his name, or just The Rock.
I think it was just The Rock. He wasn't even doing Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh, yeah, because that was shortly after the Movie Returns, too.
Yeah, the Scorpion King.
CGI The Rock, that's such a beautiful aesthetic choice.
And then Doom, Final Fantasy Advent Children. I've never...
I love
The
it.
only thing I know about this movie is from Kineticon 2008 when I saw it in a music video with Ghostbusters.
Now, I have this movie. I actually quite enjoy it.
I love this movie.
But the one thing is, I have a story about this movie.
Okay.
I bought it on DVD, and I had put it in, and I just got to work. because I was tired. I slept through the movie, and I start hearing in my mind, I start hearing this music, and I'm dreaming that this music will not shut off. And I start running up to the surround sound system. I'm pulling all the wires out, and the music's still going. I break the TV, and then I wake up, and I'm like, oh, the menu music's on, and I just turned it off and went back to sleep.
No,
I mean,
what I enjoy.
Go ahead.
Actually seen it? Has anyone seen it? Like, I was geared up for it. Actually, this was I actually got up for this one, and it was pretty satisfying that Cloud is actually like way stronger than he was in the game. He's just kind of like really OP, and I just want to know like how is training, how is he staying on his toes, like. He's kind of like solemn throughout the whole movie, so you're kind of worried about his resolve. And then Sephiroth shows up, and he has something for his ass.
He's a threat.
So that's how they wrote the character of Luke Skywalker in Episode 8.
Right, but no, this guy, like Cloud was. It was like, oh yeah, oh you're Sephiroth, you're here. I was waiting on you. I'm going to curb stomp you, basically. Like
he curb stomped Sephiroth.
He was ready. He beats the shit out of Bahamut.
I basically like. At first, like, nostalgia took me. I mean, like, Final Fantasy VII was the first Final Fantasy I played, but then I really enjoyed 8. Like, 8 was the Final Fantasy game that got me hooked into the series.
Sun Sword.
And so, I mean, like, and the series did kind of decline after the creator left. So this movie came out, of course, after Sakaguchi had left Square. So Sakaguchi had nothing to do with Advent Children. At this point, this was where Tetsuya Nomura was starting to get control over a lot of stuff at Square for no reason. Because he's a character designer and just happened to design the really cool characters for Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 10. So and then Kingdom Hearts. So they started, like, giving him a little bit more control over stuff. He's a fucking character designer. He's not a writer. So, I mean, like, 7 first got Advent Children, and then they came out with all those other games, Dirge of Cerberus and all that, and the plot just got more convoluted.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Dirge of Cerberus.
And the thing is, well, in my opinion, Dirge of Cerberus, the only reason to play that is just for the music and the appearance from Geek. But aside from that, I mean, this was the beginning of seeing Nomura delve into the whole, I'm not a writer, so let's just do this.
It definitely feels...
in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it definitely feels like somebody playing with their favorite toy. Because Cloud is John Cena.
Yeah.
He's basically John Cena with a Buster Sword.
And his name is Cloud Strike!
Yeah,
After Advent Children, we get another U-Bowl movie, Blood Rain.
Yes.
Nothing like Meatloaf a day.
Yui Bowl.
I like Blood Rain because I only really watched it for Persona Loken because this was right after I had seen her in the TV series Unhappily Ever After with Nikki Cox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I watch it, and it's hilarious. And this was right before she became Terminatrix in Terminator 3.
Yeah.
Wait, holy hell, I didn't connect those down.
Wait, didn't we get Ben Kingsley in that?
Yep.
There was a lot of people in that movie, too.
Yeah,
Michael
Ben Kingsley, Michael Madsen, Meatloaf, Billy Zane.
If anything, I want to say that this was probably Uebol's, like, best conceived video game movie.
Yeah.
His magnum opus.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best executed, but...
I mean, it's all...
I find it funny that every single one of his video game movies had a sequel within years after it that did way more justice to the source material with a less of a budget.
Oh yeah. This does have a funny story in it because Michelle Rodriguez, she had gone out of her way to rewrite her own lines, and she brought it to Uwe Boll. And he goes, these are pretty interesting. You might want to check with the rest of the cast before you actually do these lines.
And then he proceeded to do some lines.
I'm sure.
Over under.
Well, remember, when Uwe Boll is talking, you must talk with a German accent.
I don't know if this is true, but there was a rumor that Uwe Boll tried to get the rights to do a Metal Gear Solid movie.
Oh, no.
I don't think so.
Let him.
Someone told me like that happened.
Started working on a Metal Gear Solid movie. They're a huge Kojima fanboy, and despite the fact that Konami's actually backing the movie, Kojima has been kind of like elbowing his way into the involvement. And this guy's like, totally, Kojima, join us! Like, and Konami's just kind of like leering, going like, don't you pull the lights?
Kojima's over there just smirking.
Look, man, Kojima got enough money, and Daryl hug a baby.
Norman Reedus.
Fucking Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus
Hug
is
a
a
prop
fantastic
baby.
fetus.
Most Spencer's.
Funky
you know
fetus.
Funky fetus.
Just hug
No. I mean, like, how many random celebrities can we throw into this game?
Here's Arnold.
Guillermo del Toro?
I love the fact that it was like, yeah, I'm sorry, Guillermo, we're not going to be making that game that we were supposed to work on together. But I am making another game. Would you like to be in it?
I would love to be in it. I would love to be in it.
And Guillermo's so popular in Japan that, of course, he's just like, yeah, sure, why not? You know, I mean, let's face it. In Japan, I mean, they call him Guillermo del Totoro.
He does
Yeah, he does.
Than that.
All right. After Blood Rain, we go to a very cool-looking movie, Silent Hill.
That is actually one of my favorite video game movies.
Yeah, it's up there.
I like the movie in some way, but that little girl, I want to strangle her in the movie.
I think they did enough good changes to make it a good movie.
Interesting thing about it, because a lot of people complain about Silent Hill not being enough silent. And basically, the one thing that I call to, and then it's funny because it was revealed years later. All the scenes that kind of break up the pacing, where you cut to the husband like looking for them, were basically at the request of Warner Brothers, because they're like, well, where's the men in this movie? You know, it's Sutter the whole time. What's he doing during it? So they literally just tacked on all those scenes that break up the pacing and completely kill the movie's momentum. So, yeah, thanks, Warner Brothers.
And at the end, you find out they're all dead.
They're all ready.
And then in the sequel, you find that was a lie.
Yeah, they're in another dimension, and he was able to get the girl back to the other side
by completely retconning their own history.
Little do they realize that entire other dimension is being operated from a tiny little room by a corgi.
That would make so much more
Or an
sense.
autistic child.
If that had been an alternate ending for the first movie, I would have loved it.
Oh man, that's my favorite ending to any video game. You kidding me?
Silent Hill budget $50 million, box office $97.6 million.
It did modestly.
Did he have direct involvement in that too?
They used some of his music in the soundtrack. They used The Promise from Silent Hill 2, I believe.
Oh, I haven't seen that little girl in any movies. I mean, it's been a while, but I don't think she's been in anything ever since that one movie with Zellweger.
To be fair, most child actors, I think, are just terrible.
Hey, Lloyd. The funny thing is, during this point in time when these made, she did that movie with Renee Zellweger. Now, if you know what movie I'm talking about.
I don't think I do.
It was a horror movie. She was like this child or something movie. Well, the thing is,
I feel like
Case 39?
39, yes. That movie came out about a couple months later or so after Silent Hill did, but it only came in Europe.
3 years later.
7
Yeah,
years.
09.
7. Almost 7 years, I think. Or 3 or 4. Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
it was 2006 for
years.
Silent Hill, 2009 for Case 39.
Yeah, and it's like she was like 13 when it came out. She was like 8 or 9 in that movie. So
Now we
Yeah, that
move
movie's
on
just-
from Battle to a game I still own. I bought it from Blockbuster.
Whoa, that's a throwback.
Yes, Dead or Alive, starring Kevin Nash.
Oh,
and he blew up the squad.
that's actually the best casting
Yes,
of this entire film. Kevin Nash is the best.
And what's her face is in
Kevin,
it too.
Kevin Nash as bass, and then Devin Aquai is Kasumi. Jamie Presley as Tina, and Eric Roberts as Dr. Draven.
Jamie Presley was perfect for that role.
No,
Yeah.
She looked perfect.
She was great. See, that's where they were trying to do video game accuracy. To a
Yeah.
T. They were trying to do the
I mean, was Dennis Rodman a part of Dead or Alive in the video games?
I think they just kind of designed that character around him.
No, I mean, he actually voiced the character in one of the games, I think.
Oh, that's the least they could do.
You asked what other movies the little girl was in. Apparently, she was in the Twilight movies.
Apparently, the last thing she did was a sequel to Big Fat Liar.
Oh,
Huh.
Movie that should never have had a sequel.
Should never have been existed.
In a movie.
Reeky Mutant Head. Thank you.
Apparently, he's a race car driver now or something.
He's a racist? What?
He's a racist.
he's a racist driver.
He was a race car
enthusiast.
driver, but then he got into like a horrible accident.
No.
Oh, that's not funny.
And then
She was-
Ted got bigger.
What, sister in Bioshock 2?
Huh.
So yeah, she's still been doing horror related stuff and horror video games.
Yeah,
She's
man,
a
Big
whore.
Fat Liar too.
Because she's a whore. I mean, whore. She's a whore.
You whore!
Yeah, Dead or Alive for the thing. It had a budget of $21 million, made $7.5 million.
Oh.
Oh,
Did that even go out in theaters?
It did.
It didn't get a wide
like-
release.
A month, and then it went.
I was gonna say there's no. Yeah.
I think it might have made up for it in DVD sales
Yeah.
and rentals because
And just residuals from airing on
See,
television.
oh god, that movie aired on late night television so much. I can remember watching it on sci-fi late at night.
Probably after ECW went off.
God,
Yes,
God-
yes, actually. Yes.
God damn it,
Ew.
sci-fi.
Ew.
And we get Postal, starring Christopher Titus's brother in Titus, Jack Ward.
The kid from
That is exactly one fact from zero that I know about Postal. I was 8
I've seen
years
this
old
movie.
when I found that.
I have not seen it either.
Yeah.
I saw this movie. It was a thing that happened.
Basically, Ball just tried to make it as over the top and offensive as possible, I think.
like the game.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I was saying, wasn't
Yeah.
that the point of the video game? Was
Yeah.
or that's what it was infamous for?
And Gary Coleman.
And Gary Coleman.
And Gary Coleman.
Aw,
I think Gary Coleman was in the second movie, though.
Yeah, because
What's his name? Mini-Me was in the first.
Yeah, this had Zach Ward, Dave Foley, J.K. Simmons, Free Spider-Man.
Dave
J.K. Simmons. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
He's in this movie.
Yes.
I want pictures of that
Penis.
postal guy.
That penis.
Penis!
I want pictures of the postman.
Penis.
This was made for $15 million. It only made $146,000.
Well, still better than Uwe Loves.
Yeah, springtime for Hitler in Germany. I mean, springtime for
For Hitler in Germany.
Then we get Resident Evil Extinction.
Can we just skip this one?
Yeah, that was crap.
I think we said all we could
Then-
about the
then
Resident
we
Evil
get-
movies.
Yeah.
This is so far from the actual movie.
Yeah.
How
From
much
here on
did it
out, it
make?
just becomes a Mary Sue story about Mila Jovovich. And
Until she becomes a clone. Then, that's it.
Or she gets a clone army that gets wiped out immediately, and then they made fucking, what's his name? Albert Wesker a bitch in one of the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing made less sense than the fact that at the end of the series, they're like, oh, by the way, you're a clone. Like, oh, why?
I think it's even funnier that they're talking about Resident Evil movie franchise. I'm like, if you do that, please try to actually stay closer to the game.
I mean, they're having James Wan do it, and I'm totally for it if he's going to.
Oh God, then yeah, no, that'll definitely work out really well.
If it's by Blumhouse, then yeah.
Oh, I mean, hurry up and get here.
I know, I want to see it.
What's up?
Dude,
What's
if you're
next?
going to buy one of the masks online, don't do it. They're selling for like $150. How do I know this? Because I bought one for $60 and I'm selling it for $150.
Then we move on to
What
a
is...
movie that really pains me because it's horribly made. Man.
My dad loves the two movies. He freaking loves it.
That most confusing Easter egg movie or scenes for me is like I think he like came crashing through a window or a ceiling, and the little kids see him, then turn, and they're looking directly at the video game, and you see his character. It's like they're playing him right now, and he just came crashing through. I'm like, that is the most surreal Easter egg I ever saw in a movie ever.
But it was funny.
It was bad. Budget $24 million. Box office $100 million.
So it did pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I mean, the trailers made it look pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And then you watched it. It's kind of like The Last Airbender.
Now,
It's great.
now if you're watching it, if you're watching it for a video game movie, then it's bad. But for just a generic action movie, it's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And I mean, how busy was Jason Statham?
He was
What are you doing?
transfer.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty much
I don't know why. I was going to say the mechanic.
I believe also he's in the. I believe he's in a Yui Bull movie.
The King.
Yep. Which is our
In the Name of the King.
Which is our next one. A dungeon scene.
Wow, what a great segue!
With Matthew Lillard.
With Matthew Lillard.
And John Rhys Davies. And Ron Perlman. And Christina Loken.
Ron.
And Ray Liotta.
God rest his
And Ray Liotta.
God rest his
And
soul.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh,
Burt Reynolds.
Reynolds.
God rest his soul. He's the king.
Yeah.
This had just
What kind of car does this guy drive?
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds mustache. It's
Now
time
we
for
need-
Burt Reynolds mustache.
Now we need Norm Macdonald to be Burt Reynolds.
What kind of car does this guy drive? That's all.
What kind of cars you got? 45. Turd Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson.
I like the hat. It's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Budget $60 million. Box office $13.1 million.
Oh.
And probably like 80% of that budget was just the actor's payroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, it had to be.
Plus, it's
Actually wrong.
It's 127 minutes long.
It's a long movie.
Wow.
It's a long sit. It really is. And it feels like a one long trailer.
Yeah.
It does. It doesn't connect. It's just so weird.
Following that, horrifying.
That was they made a movie off it?
It came out in Europe only. Theaters only in Europe.
Yeah.
And it came out at the late
About $30 million.
DVD
Box
year.
office $743,000.
They were really trusting UA. They were just like, yeah, UA, just take it.
You've done enough of these movies. I think you got this.
Granted, this was before the Ubification of their franchises. Whenever Ubisoft game just became a Ubisoft game, just in its slightly different
And
genre.
then we move on to a movie that just no one really wants to talk about, starring Mark Wahlberg, Mila Kunis, Ludacris, and Nelly Furtado.
I totally forgot Ludacris was in that movie. Holy
Get
shit.
that money, Luda.
Max Payne.
Yep.
He was in it for like
man.
6 minutes, and that was it.
Okay.
I got so bored by this movie. A friend begged me to go see it. He goes, dude, the video games are awesome. Let's go see this movie. And at the end, I just wanted to kill him. He goes, I swear the video game is better.
It is. The movie,
See, I think
that's because Remedy is freaking great at telling a story.
The video game itself is a movie.
It is.
Yeah. No, it's a great work of noir. Remedy is great at telling a story, and that's why it's really sad that Quantum Break sucked as bad as it did. But speaking of Remedy, this news got me so freaking excited. They're shopping it around to find a place for it now. Alan Wake is going to get a television adaptation. And I lost my shit. I'm like, I fucking love this game. I hate the fact that it never got a sequel. It never got closure. All we got was Alan Wake's Cody Rhodes. I mean, American Nightmare. I mean, like...
He was the NWA champion.
While Max Payne was horrible, the fact that Remedy is directly involved in the making of this TV series, which is based off of a game that plays out like you're watching episodes of a TV show and actually tie-in miniseries to go with it, I'm really excited for that. It's a shame that Max Payne could have been like that and was absolutely awful.
See, I enjoyed watching Max Payne, but I enjoyed it having not played the games before. So I think that was my issue.
Now, they had certain parts of the movie were very reminiscent of the game. Some. The drug Valkyr, that was the main plot point of the game.
Yeah.
Just not
the whole big corporation
shit.
Yeah, that stuff. I was like, and the guy was basically they really toned down the villain in this. They just made him like, oh, he's a crazy religious fanatic. No, the guy in the game's a Satanist. I mean, like a hardcore sacrifice people Satanist in the game, and you take him down with no issues.
Yes.
The real bad guys is the corporation that's pushing this drug out there. But yeah, it's
what year was this?
2008.
2008.
Yeesh.
And just think, 9 years later, they released a fan film.
That was good.
I actually haven't watched it yet, so I'm kind of interested to see how it is.
This movie had a budget of $35 million. It made $85.8 million.
How?
Wahlberg.
Marky Mark, man.
And probably,
fair enough.
And probably Luda, too.
Yeah.
Luda.
Yeah.
Because this, I think, was like the time of like rappers being actors. Like you had Ja Rule, Cradle to Grave.
Yeah.
You know when I was
you had Powell on the wrong side of town.
the one part of the movie that I thought like this guy should be the star of a movie. The tattoo artist that was in the movie. When he's talking, I'm like, that guy should read books on tape. His voice was amazing.
Probably does. We just don't know.
He's like when he's talking about Valkyries, I'm like, read a Viking novel, please. Your voice is awesome.
He did I remember he did a Radio Shack commercial.
The Valkyries. Viking War Angels. I'm like, oh God, please read more.
Then we move on to Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
That came out around the same time as Dragon Ball Evolution, I believe, right?
Probably.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah, that whole time period was kind of sad because that was during the WGA strike, the Writers Guild.
Yeah.
So basically, anything that came out during that time period was kind of like slapped together and then like also put together by like scabs and filmed very quick and on the cheap.
Supernatural.
Yeah. So, you know, like from my memory, I believe, because like Supernatural shot in Canada, and a lot of places try to shoot outside of the U.S. where they can get away with it being cheap. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe a good chunk of Dragon Ball, for some odd reason, was shot in Mexico?
Vancouver
and Mexico, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Vancouver is notorious for that.
Yeah. But, yeah, Chun-Li, this was a forgettable movie, to be honest. Like,
Can you forget it if it's in your nightmares?
Let's just say Bison did not look like Bison.
Yeah.
Chung-Li looked like No, Chung-Li didn't even look like Chung-Li.
No, because they got Lana Lang from Smallville, because that was how I said, let's cast her as Chung-Li.
Let's
so
cast
weird.
her as a Chinese woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'll see her in a couple months in Eurotrip.
I look at this. I'm like, hold on a minute. When they could have grabbed any, and I mean and I'm not being racist. They could have grabbed any Chinese actress that spoke English that has done martial arts movies.
That's it.
Hell, they got Lucy Liu. She was big at the time.
Yeah,
granted, she was probably out of their price range, though.
But like I said, they could have grabbed anybody that worked for the Shaw Brothers. In China.
No, seriously.
Yeah, anybody, any of their actresses, and slapped them in the dress or some form of it, and it would have been 100 times better.
Or you could have just gotten Jackie Chan
as playing that one part.
I mean, Jackie Chan was a great Chun-Li.
Yeah.
I much better Chun-Li than Kristen Crook.
I mean, I couldn't tell the difference.
Or they could have just waited.
Yeah.
Or done anything else. This was one of the first I don't know, out of all the stuff we've been talking about, this one was definitely a feel of why? No, it was just why though? Why? Because it wasn't like Chun-Li was ever,
Well, what they were going to do was they were going to make movies about just certain characters.
Yeah.
And their interactions with Bison.
That was going to be I think that was the very first attempt at trying to create a cinematic universe, except the first was so bad, nothing ever came of it.
When they should have started off with Guile.
Yeah.
So my name is not Em. My name is Antia.
I get out of here, Emmy.
Hi, Emmy.
Excuse me. I was born without anyone.
Get out of here.
Kids are always hot dogging and grandstanding.
That's my little. That's my little
dogging and
grandstanding. That's my
little sister. Everybody.
Same thing when I'm trying to do a podcast.
You love that line from Macho Man, don't you?
That's just the greatest promo of all time.
Dogging and grandstanding.
I don't know. I still like cream of the crop, but that's just me.
Yeah, but I mean, no, this one I was really concerned. Even going back now and watching it, he was going to shoot Hulk Hogan in the chest, and rightfully so. Because I mean, you look at WrestleMania 4, and it's Hogan is celebrating like he won the belt. And it's dude, you really could have started from there with this whole thing. It's Hulk Hogan was the only person I'd ever seen photobomb the title picture.
Oh God.
What's the next movie?
Let's see. Chun-Li made for $18 million, pulled in $12.8 million.
I'm surprised both ways. It shouldn't have cost that much. It shouldn't have made that much money.
Our next movie was The Prince of Persia.
That one had a hell of a budget too, because that was Disney. That was Disney.
Yeah.
Disney.
I mean,
wasn't it
Disney, babe?
Was anyone shocked that Ben Paisley was the bad guy?
No.
Because as soon as I saw him, I went, he did it.
Although, by the way, I want a prop of that dagger.
Yeah.
That was a really cool.
Yeah,
that was a really cool dagger.
On top of it all, it wasn't just oh hey, Prince of Persia, there was an original game. No, they basically were oh no, let's just do the most recent one that came out. Let's do Sans Time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Well, I guess from something that's more relative.
True.
And also, the other one's just basically parkour the video game.
Yeah.
Well, so's this one.
Prince of Persia budget 150 to 2 million. Its box office was 336.4 million.
Lucky bastard.
Wow.
I'm surprised it actually recouped.
Well, because its main star was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Wow.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he
people
needed
are
a lot of help getting out of Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
So
Following
Man, I think that was his best work. I don't know what you're talking about.
he was on his back the whole time or on his knees.
Then following that, we do get
Ain't gotta say no lie.
After that, we get Tekken.
This was the movie.
We kind of
This was the movie.
Yeah.
About that one.
Yet another one that I'm surprised actually somehow got made. It got out of development hell.
It was weird though. The name of the city was literally called like Tekken. It was like, welcome to Tekken, and you live in Tekkenville or Tekken. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
State.
I'm just like, it's like
literally they had no clue what the game was about. They just saw the characters and liked it and went, can we make a movie off of this?
I would have liked it if they made it a musical. And
Now-
every
now-
song
now-
would have been about
now,
Tekken.
Tekken the musical.
Now, I will only see this movie if King is in the movie. Is King in this movie?
No
Then I
one,
frickin' seeing it then.
no one is in this movie.
Well, Hayachi's in it.
No, like no one like recognizable.
Oh, okay.
I want what I mean is I want the Jaguar masked luchador. That's all I want in this movie. It's my favorite character in Tekken. Obviously.
I mean, what's funny is that I believe around the time that this came out, Sammo Hung had gotten the rights to make a Soul Calibur movie.
Oh.
Could you imagine if that had actually gotten made?
He would have done such a job.
Oh, God, yeah.
If anything, it would have been, fighting wise, it would have been amazing and worth seeing just for that.
Yeah.
But if the script was good and the fight good, which it's Sammo Hung, and he would have made sure he would have got a good writer.
Yeah.
I almost said this game. No, this movie budget 30 million, box office 967,000.
Oh,
Again, I don't think it got wide release, which is part of the reason why those numbers suck.
I didn't even see it in theaters. I didn't even know it existed until I saw DVD.
Yeah, it only got a film festival release.
I mean,
that would explain.
Here's the interesting thing, too, is that the Tekken computer animated movie actually did get a limited, 1 weekend run in syndication. I caught it in theaters. It was freaking good. So, I mean, but then again, so was the Resident Evil computer animated movie that was
Where we
based on
took Blood Vengeance.
Yeah.
That movie was so weird.
I liked it, though. I liked it.
You're more allowed to like it. I just, I don't know.
I mean, come on. Chainsaw Arm Robot Girl.
I died laughing at the fact that she rides a panda to school.
That too.
Then, let's see, 2010 to 2012, it's just Resident Evil Afterlife, Resident Evil Retribution, Resident Evil Retaliation. Oh, no, that's Silent Hill. Then we get Silent Hill, too.
Yeah, I think at that point, literally every filmmaker was going,
So what do we do now?
Japanese game, good. Make movie.
Make movie.
Yeah,
Make
They'll
money.
actually go
Good.
see it.
Butter toast.
And the funny thing is, I'm trying to remember who got the rights, but a really famous freaking director during that time period had gotten the Metroid.
And never made it.
Yeah.
Wait, Nintendo actually gave them the rights?
Yeah. No, this guy actually had gotten the rights to make... I can't remember for the life of me now. I remember when I heard the name, I was like, holy fuck, how the hell did he manage that? We're probably going to talk about it later, but Universal Studios, of course, is building a giant Nintendo land in real life. And likewise, along with that, I believe Universal is the distributor for Illumination Entertainment's movies. And Nintendo has given Illumination Entertainment the rights to make a Mario movie, which they're apparently, which apparently is going to happen. And all I can say in regards to that is, please, 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 Nintendo, do not let them turn the Goombas into annoying testicles.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Do not make them into minion clones.
Just make them
Goomba. Like, no.
I would like if they made the Goombas as like the working stiffs of like, like they just complain. They're just there. They work for Bowser. They're
and you thought your jump was bad.
Oh my god.
I mean, it could be worse. They could be the Goombas from that really weird animated Mario anime. With the product placement and
just one time I want Mario to squish one and then the other one says, "Hey, I'm walking here." That's all I want.
Like, okay, I'm not hurt. You making me bleed.
They all sound like that too.
Oh my god.
Oh, Goomba!
You making me bleed.
Silent Hill Revelation. I didn't see it because I heard it was awful.
Same here.
It was. You didn't miss anything.
Budget 20 million, box office 56 million. So it made money. Then we get Need for Speed.
I mean,
movie.
Paul's movie.
It's basically a knockoff of Fast and the Furious.
They slapped on Fast and the Need for Speed on any of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's all. I mean, when I saw the first Fast and Furious trailer, I'm like, is this Need for Speed?
That was it.
That's exactly what I said.
Okay, so the big name attached to the Metroid movie, the guy who got the rights and didn't actually make the movie, John Woo.
What?
Wow.
Whoa.
We're talking, this goes as far back as I believe like 2005 or something.
So this would have been right around the time of when he comes out with the game Stranglehold.
Yeah, 2004, actually, right here.
Stranglehold.
GameSpot. Yeah. Director John Woo confirms he has optioned the Nintendo's popular Metroid series, according to a Reuters report. Focusing on Samus Aran's origins and battles with Metroid's Mother Brain. So, he was supposed to do that, and nothing ever came of it. Co-founder of Tiger Hill, Brad Foxo, acted as producer of Untitled Metroid movie. John Woo was the director. And Tiger Hill stepped in 2004 when another studio, Zide Perry Productions, let their option on the license lapse. So Nintendo had 3 Metroid-related projects, Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime Hunters, and Metroid Prime Pinball were all in development at the time while they were shopping around the Metroid movie. And they were gung-ho to do it. They had a 3-year development process, crafting a story to appeal to both new and existing fans. They knew the characters were developed so many years ago when game systems were limited, designs needed to be updated, especially as a live-action representation. At that point, I'd say, the designs have been updated over the years, so just go with the updated design. They were supposed to release it in 2006, but development slipped as Tiger was spending a lot of time working around Nintendo's restrictions for the license and its characters.
That's exactly what I said earlier. It was
10 years
probably because of restrictions.
Flop of Mario Brothers. And Nintendo was definitely discouraged, but felt that John Woo would be better hands for it. But the thing is, Nintendo learned from Mario to hold their rights tighter, limiting creation, especially with Metroid, apparently. So their entire development time was spent exploring the Metroid world and what they could and couldn't do with it. They brought in several writers, including David Greenwalt of Buffy, Angel, and Grimm. Apparently, early scripts focused on Samus and her origin story, which makes sense. But yeah, they just kept on running into problems. I mean, let's face it, I I still think that it probably would have been way better of an origin story than, say, the stuff that appeared in Other M.
I never played that game, but I heard there was like so much controversy in that game.
Yeah, no, I mean, decent game, aside from like the parts where you have to look something in first person, and it's only a couple of pixels on the screen. But yeah, Samus's character development in that sucked. Project ran to a halt in 2007, team disbanded. Foxhaven focused on executive producing the game John Woo Presents Stranglehold. The rights lapsed again. No studio stepped forward to give it another shot. And Foxhaven just hoped Metroid will get another go. Nintendo walked away appreciating the process and how much further they needed to explore the franchise so it could have a chance for a feature film at some point. Which would explain also why it takes forever for Metroid games to come out nowadays anyway.
Right.
Because even Nintendo doesn't know what they're doing with it. So that's the fun little side story about the John Woo Metroid film that could have happened as far back as 2004. So now let's jump back closer to the present. Where were we? 2012?
2014 with Need for Speed, which had a budget of $66 million. It made $203 million.
Wow. Because people like cars.
Yeah.
Well, people also thought that was going to be Aaron Paul launching pad too, because he was fresh off. He drove off the set of Breaking Bad into Need for Speed. So remember, like, that's his last scene in Breaking Bad. I'm just like flooring it. It was just like, oh yeah, he's going into Need for Speed the same way, and you know.
Then after this, we get Hitman Agent 47.
Was that like a sequel or reboot?
Yeah, I like the Hitman movies are good if you don't know much about the
I saw
game.
5 minutes of this and I turned it off.
They're enjoyable as like a
movie around and kill people.
Yeah, they're enjoyable as like a movie about a hitman. As far as a movie based off a game about a hitman goes, not so much.
Yeah, where am I expecting none of that? That's all I want.
Come on, man. $35 million, box office $82 million.
Yeah, okay. So
it got good of its money back.
It got good press too, actually. Apparently, it's like a video game movie.
It just didn't have much content in it, and it did better than they thought it would.
2015 Warcraft.
This is what happens.
But it how can I say this? It's a blur. I can't remember anything about the movie.
Just like Final Fantasy, this is what happens when a video game studio gets way too involved with making a movie. And in the case of Warcraft, there's so much freaking lore that honestly, they threw so much into it thinking that they weren't possibly going to make a second one, even though they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, Warcraft has the kind of lore that needs to be explored in multiple movies, Lord of the Rings style.
And then we move on to Assassin's Creed.
That was
a movie.
That movie was
hardcore.
It was
history. The movie.
Hardcore. The film.
See, that movie was a little bit more interesting than the rest of them, solely because this movie happens to also take place inside the games universe, which none of the other movies did, which I thought was kind of cool.
But it's also 115 minutes long, so that's...
I mean, also at the same time, implied through Easter eggs that all of Ubisoft's games like take place in the same universe, because like Watch Dogs and Far Cry also both exist in Assassin's Creed. Like the place where they do the thing with the guy in Assassin's Creed is referenced in Watch Dogs, and then Watch Dogs has a reference to both that and also Far Cry, and like, yeah, like not only are all their games the same with a slightly different genre and coat of paint, but they also all reference each other now. So it's like now, like instead of a cinematic universe, we have the Ubisoft game universe or something, whatever.
Budget 125 million. Box office 240. Nice.
Not bad.
Yeah, well, Ass Creed is a very popular franchise. So.
Have you guys seen that direct-to-video Halo movie?
Which one?
The live-action one?
Where?
No.
There is one.
And good.
Good.
Clones. All of the clones. Everybody in that damn movie was a clone. Jesus Christ.
Even he was a clone. Jesus was even in that movie.
It's true.
It's just like once you tell me everybody's a clone, it's like, okay, so I just wasted time caring about anybody in this film.
Although there was one part in the movie that was actually legitimately funny, where elderly Mila Jovovich fires Albert Wesker and lasers come down and just like hit him. That was the only like a wall just slams down on him. It's the best thing ever.
Well, you know what the great thing about Mila Jovovich is? When she's 75 years old, she's not going to have saggy, wrinkly balloons on her chest.
That is very true.
Uh-huh.
And the best part is, again, like I don't know how much we're going to talk about it at the end about upcoming or or optioned films, but apparently the guys behind Resident Evil are now, I think they have the rights. But yeah, they want to do Monster Hunter with Mila Jovovich in it. And
No.
how do you even put a plot to a game that doesn't have a plot?
You're just hunting
See, we're gonna
monsters.
hunt these things, and we're gonna hunt these things.
And Mila Jovovich will be in the movie, and she will be the star for no reason.
And she's going to be the master monster hunter because she's the chosen one.
And then people will complain, why aren't there Asian people in it?
Well, they'll use
Monster Hunter looks
they'll use the same
Depending on
excuse
where
they
they
did with
are.
Death Note.
Yeah.
That got me so mad. Oh my god. How come everybody in the Death Note movie is white? I don't know. Maybe because it takes place in Wisconsin.
Well, we couldn't find any Asian people who could speak English, apparently. That was legit one of the reasons that they said. I'm not trying to be racist. That was one of the legit reasons.
It was. We covered that back a long time ago.
There's a lot of
Meanwhile,
Go to San Francisco, you'll find them.
Meanwhile, when I saw the first Gantz movie in theaters, the live action one, the dub over that they had was entirely made up of Asian actors. So your one movie with Japanese actors with Japanese accented English voiceover. But that's how you do it. Unlike that game Siren, where the game is entirely Japanese people who are all talking like this for no reason.
I just love how the British accent is just, the coverall for everything historically, because, God knows they spoke like that in Greece. 300 every.
And they have an Italian accent.
Everybody's just talking like that.
So from Assassin's Creed, we go on to
the remake of Raider.
That came and went. That movie had no promotion whatsoever, or at least one that I noticed.
Yeah,
I saw a bunch of promotion for it, but every time I was around anybody who watched it, they were just like, "Well, this is going to be trash." Like, okay, I guess so. That's what you're going for.
I feel like it just quickly went from theaters right to Redbox.
Yeah,
it did. It's already on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it had a budget of $106 million, made $273 million.
Wow!
It doubled its budget.
Then we move on to The Rock's Rampage.
Okay, I saw this, but the only reason I loved it was because of Jeffrey D. Morgan in it.
I love it.
But I think he forgot that he's not supposed to be Negan in this movie.
He just is Negan.
Now, mind you, I'm a kaiju fan, so giant monsters wrecking city, me likey.
Look, man, he'll always be pop.
Oh, that's why I liked it, because I grew up watching Godzilla, so that's what I was thinking.
I mean, I wanted to watch it and like Dwayne Johnson's like, oh yeah, it's one of my favorite games of all time. I am so pumped to be able to make a movie off of Rampage, and then I see the trailer. Like, this has nothing to do with Rampage at all. We have giant freaking animal monsters rampaging through a city, but that completely has nothing to do with the actual concept and plot of the game.
There is an interview with the director who said, like, the original idea was they were going to have people transform into the monsters, but he thought that plot was too stupid. I just let that sink in. He thought that was too stupid. The vampire wolf idea was on.
I mean, like,
Rampage was like the first game I ever beat with my older brother. It has a special place in my heart.
Oh, that's the one. That was one of the few games me and my brother actually liked that we both liked and played together with. So
one of the first arcade games I ever played, I went to a place here in town. It's no longer exists anymore. It's out of business. But it was like Chuck E. Cheese. It was called Major Magics.
I'm very familiar with Major Magic.
Yeah, we had one here in Toledo, and it was just retro arcade games everywhere in this place.
I'm from Detroit. We had one of those, and we also had.
Oh yeah, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. We had that. We had Little Caesar's Family Fun Pizzeria. Mm-hmm. It's like light years ahead of anything that they ever did at Chuck E. Cheese's showbiz.
So
arcades was like way better.
Oh, I know. One of the first games I ever played arcade-wise was Rampage. I'm like, it's King Kong and Godzilla, and why is the Wolfman here? That was the first thing. It's like, okay, there's Godzilla. Okay, everybody knows Godzilla. Oh, there's King Kong. Okay, what's with the wolf? It's like, instead of having the wolf, because they should have put, with giant monsters. They should have went giant lizard, giant gorilla, giant bug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Giant turtle.
Giant Jeff Goldblum.
Oh my God.
I'm going to punch this building down. After I do that, I will defecate in the river.
Okay, but Rampage budget $130 million. Box office $426 million.
Oh my God! Wow. It did well.
Yeah. Again, The Rock. Fun fact:
it had star power.
The toys were exclusive to Walmart. They had two lines. They had a line based off of the video game, which was kind of cool because they looked like the artwork from the side of the machine. And then you had a line based off of the movie. You had the silverback gorilla, and you had this action figure of The Rock that looked like it wasn't The Rock at all. In fact, the head of the action figure looked more like RuPaul sans the makeup and wig.
Oh, God.
Like,
no joking.
There's probably an overlap there that we had to give credit to.
Now, mind you, with thinner lips.
Yeah.
There's probably a little better overlap there than you think. You've never seen RuPaul without the...
I have. I'm without the makeup.
Yeah. And so I mean, that was Rampage in the merchandise department right there,
and that's basically where we're at right now. Next year we're getting Detective Pikachu.
Well, we did miss right now. We did miss one movie, Angry Birds, which I'm still wondering why they decided to wait so many years to actually make the movie when it's like not popular.
We're getting a sequel next year.
Now, I have to admit this. I did like the Angry Birds movie. I thought it was fun. I did. I thought it was hilarious.
Probably was.
I'm surprised my 7-year hasn't forced me to watch that yet.
Okay, the scene in this that I laughed so much. They go to visit this great, all-powerful bird, all right, in the movie, and he's a bald eagle. Okay, and they get up there and they're climbing this mountain, and they're thirsty, and they see this lake. That small lake, and they jump in and they're like, oh, water, and they're drinking the water, and then they see the eagle comes up and he stands at the edge of this thing, and they're like, there he is, and then he starts peeing in the water. So basically what they just did was they just swam in his toilet. and then they just start rubbing their tongue like, ah! It's pretty funny.
Next year, we're getting the Pikachu with Ryan Reynolds voicing Detective Pikachu.
It's
Yeah,
just
so
fantasy,
here's a
though.
little fun.
That
thing,
is
right?
not something I would have expected.
Well,
I
here's
cannot
something
wait.
fun right now. Here's something fun right now. Think about it this way: Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be the voice of Detective Pikachu,
Yes.
and he's going to be a cop in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
He is basically becoming The Rock.
He's winning.
But better.
Yeah.
Oh, so much better.
But
Now-
not bigger.
But here's even the funnier thing. So Detective Pikachu also had a game, and the English voice of Pikachu for the game sounds like somebody imitating Ryan Reynolds imitating Danny DeVito.
It is.
It is.
I'm tired.
And it's
That's a
not
description
bad.
I've never heard before.
But I mean, by far, if
You can download
anything,
the demo right now.
you watch the trailer for the game that's dubbed over with DeVito's voice. And
It's
just-
brilliant.
Yeah, it fits the surly nature of this character so perfectly that I'm really kind of curious how the hell Ryan Reynolds is going to pull this off. I mean, I know he can, because, I mean, like, let's face it, Deadpool's a character where you never see the guy's damn face. It's mostly voice acting, and, you know, as far as the character talking is concerned,
That Ryan Reynolds.
work himself. He has to somehow find his lips through that mask and match his own voice to what he was saying through that mask. But I mean, so he has the background with the voiceover thing. I'm really curious how the hell it's all going to work out. Especially, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that is animated. I don't think it's going to be a live-action hybrid like Sonic the Hedgehog's going to be.
No, it's going to be all animated. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog on the other hand.
It's going to be an anime. It's
Why
going to
is
be an
Jim Carrey Dr. Robotnik?
Because of...
What?
because he couldn't be Cletus Cassidy.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Because whatchamacallit, Lemony Snicket, most likely, and The Mask. Jim Carrey is a hell of a freaking character actor when you get right down to it. If anybody can kind of match the madcap zaniness, especially like, I really hope he kind of takes it in the direction of the cartoons of like Long John Baldry. You know, like, I want that big, that grandiose, like, I can kind of picture him with a ton of prosthetic on his face, and, you know, in
they're going to have to.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it, for him to go, like, super big with it, which I have no doubt that he will.
He's going to go to the Raul Julia School of Video Game Movie
I want
villainry. You know, and be like,
Oh my God, that was
you Sonic!
that was the only reason I watched the first Sonic cartoon. Was I love Dr. Robotnik in that series so much.
As usual. Here's something fun right now. Think about it this way. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be the voice of Detective Pikachu,
Yes.
and he's going to be a cop in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
He is basically becoming The Rock.
He's winning.
But better.
Yeah.
Oh, so much better.
But not bigger.
But here's even the funnier thing. So Detective Pikachu also had a game, and the English voice of Pikachu for the game sounds like somebody imitating Ryan Reynolds imitating Danny DeVito.
It is.
It is.
I'm tired.
And it's
That's a
not
description
bad.
I've never heard before.
But I mean, by far, if
You can download
anything,
the demo right now.
you watch the trailer for the game that's dubbed over with DeVito's voice. And
It's
just-
brilliant.
Yeah, it fits the surly nature of this character so perfectly that I'm really kind of curious how the hell Ryan Reynolds is going to pull this off. I mean, I know he can, because, I mean, like, let's face it, Deadpool's a character where you never see the guy's damn face. It's mostly voice acting, and, you know, as far as the character talking is concerned,
That Ryan Reynolds.
work himself. He has to somehow find his lips through that mask and match his own voice to what he was saying through that mask. But I mean, so he has the background with the voiceover thing. I'm really curious how the hell it's all going to work out. Especially, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that is animated. I don't think it's going to be a live-action hybrid like Sonic the Hedgehog's going to be.
No, it's going to be all animated, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog on the other hand.
It's going to be an anime.
Why is Jim Carrey Dr. Robotnik?
Because of...
Because he couldn't be Cletus Cassidy.
Movie. We got the Untitled Mario film. We got Minecraft coming out, and then also Dragon Slayer the movie.
How do you do a Minecraft movie?
I've got these blocks
Like a Lego movie.
and a dragon.
Well, I mean, they have Minecraft Story Mode, the game from Telltale, which is just literally Minecraft, the game, the game with YouTubers as the characters or something. I think I have no clue. But yeah, like I
It
don't.
ain't Jacksepticeye. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like I have no clue. What the hell's, I have no clue what the hell they're going to do with Minecraft. I mean, they did a Minecraft Adventure Time special, for crying out loud.
It's just going to be deleting all their stuff.
I swear, in that movie, if they don't have a scene where someone just randomly walks up to a house and burns it to the ground, I will not watch it. It's like, wow.
So you know me in Minecraft.
8 months building this house.
I mean,
and then someone just blows it up.
I mean,
I used to
seriously, out of like all the video games out there, you know, I mean, like, there's know what's coming out, but like, okay, I just want to play a little game here now, for a second. Best game, worst game, best possible game, you know, that could make a good movie and be successful, and worst possible game to do that.
Best Mario, and Mario, if it's animated. And the worst, Fortnite.
God.
Excuse you.
Well, wait a minute.
They already made a Fortnite movie. It's called Battle Royale. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, that's a B movie.
It's the same thing.
True. So what?
It's the same game except with bad graphics.
Well, Fortnite is just PUBG with the Sims graphics. And speaking of Sims,
and
worst possible game franchise to turn into a movie? I'm just saying this for shits and giggles, because this seems like something that I would have pulled up at the live You Can't Be Serious show. Would have been Sim City, the movie.
Which is everyday life.
Yeah.
No, or for that matter, if not Sim City, the movie, then what might actually make an interesting movie, if pulled off right. Rest his soul, Robin Williams probably would have been perfect for this too. Roller Coaster Tycoon, the movie.
Where the guy just becomes cynical and purposely makes a roller coaster that kills everyone.
Damn.
I thought this was supposed to be a friendly movie.
You know, I really liked Robin Williams, but you know what? I don't think I'd ever hang out with him.
No.
Well, I've said the same thing about Christian Bale.
Oh, you didn't get my joke, did you?
Wow.
No, we did.
All right, for me, I have two.
Oh, fuck you!
All right, for me, this one would have a 2-part anthology series, Eternal Darkness.
If we're gonna talk obscure freaking video game franchise to turn into a movie, Geist. In the same vein as Eternal Darkness, Geist.
Or
God, that would be cool.
Or Mirror's Edge.
We already had a Mirror's Edge movie. It was called Hardcore Henry.
Oh, yeah, we did.
You're not wrong.
Which in turn became a game after being a movie because of Payday.
True. And then the worst, Pac-Man.
I think we missed a movie in the thing, Alone in the Dark. It would make a better movie than all of them.
Rock.
WCW versus NWO Revenge.
Well, based on the opening with the driver.
Yes, the truck driver's the main character, and he just runs into all these wrestlers. And the only thing he says in the whole movie is, "What the?"
And then Hogan sells getting
Everything.
hit by a truck.
Okay.
He just sells it.
Sting stands there just in one spot the whole movie.
Kicks out on 3.
Okay, I think that's game over for this episode.
Yeah.
I just want to say I think the just my little last edition, the worst movie I think they would make for a video game would be Harvest Moon.
Well, maybe
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, you're just a slave for the rest of your life.
Well, you could make a whole plot. Raccoon guy is the villain, and everyone turns against him.
Okay, Deej, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram under DJ Luongo Art.
Billy Bill, where can people find you?
You can find me on there's a few places here. You can find me on Facebook. Just look up my name, Bill Carter. You can find me on Twitter, Bill Carter 17. You can find me on YouTube. Just Dollar Bill Reviews. And if you're looking in your shower, I'm probably standing on the other side of the curtain.
Thank you.
Cool. And Jace, where can people find you?
So just about every form of social media under the name Crit Hit Jace. I'm going to be streaming on Twitch soon on a regular basis. Going to have a 5-day-a-week schedule with a live late-night show in the works for Twitch as well.
And if I'm not your co-host, I will stab. I know where you live.
Hey, not entirely. You've only come as far as Staten Island, so there's still a little bit. There's still a little bit more you got to go, man, to get to Massachusetts.
I know,
but hell, if you could make it out here, because I do want to have a revolving door of co-hosts / producers for the show. But unfortunately, it's got to be people in the area because they got to be able to run the switchboard. So,
squrlax, where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube under squrlax and on Twitter under squrlax. So that's pretty much the only two things I actually use regularly.
Is that a pun of Skrillex?
No, it's actually a combination of Squirtle and Snorlax, who are my two favorite.
Squirrelax. Okay.
Beautiful.
And Handsom Bane, where can people find you?
You can find me. We just switched everything over to ILA_POW. That's at ILA_POW. That's both the Twitter and the Instagram. On YouTube, you can find us at It's Like a Podcast or whatever. And everything else you can find at ILAPOW.com.
And you can find me on Twitter at DefaultRick. Tune in next time when our show will be doing a change, and during in the upcoming weeks from the end of September to sometime in November, we will be called Super Screamcom, and we'll be doing spooky and scary content. Also,
maniacal laugh.
Thank you for the theremin. And
that was me.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Dave. Check out our YouTube page where we actually put up new content such as our Cosplay Corner and more content coming soon. Follow the channel on follow me on Twitter at DefaultRick. Follow us on Twitter at SuperFancomShow. Cut that out. Contact us. Contact
wow.
On
Snorlax.
on SuperFancomShow.
That was such a good impression. Oh my god.
We need to put our voices together because some talented voice VOs in here.
Oh yeah, Jace is a master.
He really is.
Well, thanks for the comments, guys. But I mean, I'm nothing, of course, without my counterpart and partner in crime, Dane, when it comes to doing.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I've been watching that live show you guys did. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But listen to us on your phone at Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. Watch us on YouTube. Watch us on Twitch at SuperFancom. And also check out our affiliates, JList, Amazon, Geek, Green Teahouse, and Bundle. And you'll find everyone in the show's information down in the description below. For Deej, Crit Hit Jace, Billy Carter, squrlax, Handsom Bane, I'm Retro Rick. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.